Oh. It's not what y'all think. It. I know it appears I'm being lazy, but I really was just thinking on something. I just didn't get it to the point of me actually doing it. I was still in think mode. Uh, y'all don't care about that. Anywho, you know who it is. It's Zeus Cruz of Olympia Multimedia, representing Alpha Omega. Shout out to my partner in crime, Mr. Jason Canyon. And you know what this is. This is a special episode. Another segment of Get Things Done. In this particular segment, we're going to be discussing music. Specifically, you don't see the tears running down my eyes, but they're there. The reason why they're there is because one thing that I would love to have, especially right here in the studio, is a synthesizer. But you're wondering, Zeus, how is it you don't have one? Well, simply put, it's not in the budget. Yes, they're expensive. Way more expensive than MIDI keyboards or workstation keyboards. So, I'm wondering in my head, what can I do to kind of offset my sadness here? Because I love working with synths. Right? So yeah, there's a lot of different type of plugins, some different type of softwares that I can use. Comes with a little basic little inventory of different loops that simulate different synths and whatnot, which is cool and all. But I kind of like want a complete package where I feel like I'm more in control, right? So voila, I found it. And you guys can do this too. If you're in the same boat as me, can't actually get your hands on a synthesizer, you can get something that is close to it. What you see in front of you? Oh, it caught me by surprise there. Good Lord. Very responsive. But you see here, this is the Arturia KeyLab Essential 49. Now, they got other models as well where obviously it has more keys, less functionality as far as like tuners and faders and pads and whatnot. But 49 works well for me. Nice and compact, doesn't take a lot of space. I've been really getting into Arturia. Arturia is a great product, but they're great for simulating synthesizers and them nice, crisp synth sounds if you're trying to incorporate that into your music production. Not only do they have the hardware, but boom, they got the software to go with it. And I don't know if you can notice on the screen, but this particular software is called Pigments. Their other flagship software is called Analog 5. They also have 4 out as well. They also have free versions of it as well that you can use. Obviously, free means it ain't compact with a lot of features or a lot of things that you can use on there. But just as a way of you just getting started, obviously that's the way to go. But the great thing about this, getting the hardware to go along with this, again, it's so intuitive and it's so easy to use, very responsive. You see the crispness in which they're able to develop these different sounds through Arturia. You can't say enough about it. And just how intuitive the hardware is, how it's able to sync to this. There's no lag to it. As soon as you're playing something, obviously you can use key and pad mode simultaneously. Oh, it's so beautiful. It has a nice little screen right here to let you know what you're pressing, specifics on what you're trying to do at that given time. You see the software, obviously the hardware is built for you to control the software without having to be so hands-on with the mouse. So the neat thing about this is you got your two jog wheels. It's pretty much standard like a lot of MIDI controllers. You got your jog wheels for pitch. You got the moderation. Which is cool, very accessible. Everything feels very within arm's reach. Doesn't feel like you have to stretch. And again, it's embodying what a synthesizer should be and gives you the control as a producer to do what you want to do to manipulate the sound. Right here within arm's reach as well, you can raise the octaves or lower them. Now let's raise them up. So the neat thing about this is when working with this is that the fact that you can create synths through the keys, through the different chords that you play, but it has a pad mode in which you can implement like a drum pattern along with the melody that you're trying to construct through the keys. How dope is that? And again, within arm reach to do it. You can also raise the transpose or lower it. Raise the semitones or lower them. And if you notice just the crispness in which you're doing the sounds, it's just remarkable. And again, very responsive. Whatever you press on here, it navigates onto your screen. You quickly get an understanding of what you're doing here, so you get a better outlook of your workflow. If you notice up on the screen too, as you're playing, you got your faders right here, in which it allows you to increase the attack or lower it, add more decay or lower it, sustain the level in which you're playing the chords. And again, very responsive on the fly as you're playing. And as you move on, you get more specifics as well. They basically layer, the interface is layered into three parts in which they call envelopes. And with these faders, you can control essentially each layer that you're doing when you're constructing your melody. Obviously, you can be hands-on with your mouse and get more specifics and turn different things as well. You have your tuners up here as well. That allows you to increase the velocity in which you're using the effects or lower it. More input, more output, simply. And then obviously you could come up here and change the effects. And again, you still have the same functionality of controlling. And then it has features on here as well that are indicative of a standard DAW, where you have in pan, where if you want to level the sound more to your left or to your right. Other different types of functionality, as well as just adding different, layering it with different types of effects. You could put that on there. But the beautiful thing is just how it's layered on here from the hardware. Whatever you're trying to do, it's easy for you to incorporate that onto there. You even have chords. Where you can change the pitch of the chords. You can also create your own chords as well for later use. And then just by a simple click, you can turn it off. You can change the scaling, input art. There's even a functionality on here, as you see the button here called part. You hold it down, and you can actually, you're literally breaking your production into multiple parts, and then you can record as such. And then you just quickly click it. Now I'm on my second part, and I can go ahead and just continue to play another set, move on to my third, my fourth, so forth and so on. Obviously, you have your basic functions and controls right here. If you're playing this alongside a DAW, because obviously Pigments can be utilized as a plugin, also as a standalone software, to go ahead and stop, play, record. You can also loop whatever sample that you're playing as well. And the great thing about this is I'm utilizing it now through Arturia, but this works with any DAW, essentially. Most people recommend Arturia for Ableton, but it does work and has the same functionality if you're using whatever DAW of your preference. But again, just at your fingertips to have the ability to have a synthesizer. Yes, would it be great to have the real thing? Of course, people. Don't make me sad again. I'm already feeling some type of way right now. But this right here, this setup through Arturia is the closest thing to allow you within a confines of a budget to allow you to experience having a synthesizer and all its features associated with it. So check it out. It's Arturia KeyLab Essential 49. Very cost efficient as well. It's going to run you a little over $200 just to get this. So again, it's not very expensive. And it comes with a plethora of software that you could download, which includes Pigments. You could definitely check out their other flagship software that I mentioned earlier, the Analog Lab, the 4 or the 5. Me personally, I prefer Pigments It gives you more features that you can utilize in your production. But whatever fits your flow, go with it. So that's it. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight on constructing and putting together the closest thing to you getting a synthesizer and just creating awesome synths for your music production, and you could do it through Arturia. So I hope this was impactful, insightful, and that's it. So I'm glad y'all guys tuned in. You know who it is. It's Zeus Cruz of Olympian Multimedia, one half of Alpha Omega. And I think the only thing left to say is get things done. I'll check you later.